Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel where we talk all about farming, specifically livestock farming in Zimbabwe. Today we would like to discuss one of the most interesting business in Zimbabwe. We would like to talk about goat farming for profit in Zimbabwe. So goat farming in Zimbabwe can be a profitable venture. It also has a growing demand for milk as well as meat and some goat products such as goat skins. Whether a beginner or an experienced farmer, this video will guide you through everything you need to know about starting and also running a successful goat farming business in Zimbabwe. So first, let's talk about the market opportunities in this kind of business. So the demand for goat products in Zimbabwe is increasing at a faster rate, mainly due to cultural and also religious traditions. And it is also one area which is still growing, though it is not developed to the level we expect. There are still lots of gaps and also opportunities in this industry. So in terms of the markets, we can talk of the local butcheries as well as supermarkets. If you supply goat meat to the local butcheries on agreed terms or supply terms agreements, you can also get a lot of revenue as well as from some supermarkets. We can also talk of restaurants as well as other hotels. Markets such as hotels as well as restaurants demand quality meat, so you have to be highly productive and also to meet their quality standards so that you get profits from this kind of business. We can also talk of live sales. For instance, these goats can be sold for breeding and or for meat purposes to other farmers as well as other individuals. Even under these you can also supply to other organizations. For example, some NGOs can put tenders to purchase goats for their development projects. It's also something you can work to supply these kind of deals from time to time, though they are rare. Another marketing opportunity is the export market. We can think of neighboring countries such as South Africa and Botswana, as well as other far or international regions. For instance, we can talk of those in the Middle East. But the export markets requires adherence to global practices and also standards to adhere to quality and also certain procedures. So it's something you have to research very critical and also understand the processes and also the procedures on how you can proceed. Now, you have to understand that goat farming is a great business because the demand of goat meat is increasing, and also it has a lot of opportunity, especially when it is harnessed with good management. You can earn sustainable profits or on top of your other farming ventures. Now let's talk of the common breeds in Zimbabwe. So basically, when it comes to choosing the right breed, it is determined by your objective as the farmer. Choosing the right breed is very crucial, and it is essentially important for your profitability. So the most common breeds in Zimbabwe, we can talk of the Mashona goat. Mashona goat is one of the goat which is pretty common, and it is very hardy and also quite disease tolerant, and also good for meat. However, it tends to attain a smaller weights, and it is quite resilient and adaptable to the local climates, especially the hot areas. We can also talk of the Boer goat, which is a commercial breed, which is also which is fast growing or has fast growth rates and also high meat yield. In terms of the yielding of the meat, it attains quite huge quantities of meat, and also it also need more feed to attain those kind of meat. So this one is quite demanding when it comes to the feed requirements, and also the maintenance cost of this Boer goat is quite high. So it's something you have to be well prepared and also think through. Then we can also talk of the Kalahari Red, which is also a high quality meat breed, and it is also highly adaptable to the Zimbabwe's climate. We can also talk of other breeds. For example, we can talk of the cyanine, though it is not so common. It is a goat breed which is mainly used in milk production for those involved in milk production, and it is also an area which is still at a low pace, or which has not been fully exploited in Zimbabwe when you talk of goat milk production. So it's something you can research about and also get through into this kind of business. Now, you have to understand that when you keep these goats, purchase goats that adapt well to environment and also that you can maintain in terms of feed requirements and also other needs. Let's now talk about housing and also the management aspect of goats. So when it comes to goat production, proper housing is essential because it protects the goats from extreme weather patterns, for instance, the rainfall as well as the hot sun, and it can also keep the goats safe from predators. So it's important that you have to put key considerations for goat housing to be standard housing. We can talk of raised shelters whereby the houses are constructed while they are raised on a raised platform so that the dung simply falls away from the house such that it prevents the diseases and also it keeps goats dry, which is a very essential component in production. And ventilation is very essential because you have to construct the house in such a way that there is a free air circulation to prevent build up of respiratory gases, which can result in respiratory issues and diseases. The next key thing is also fencing. You have to put a secure fence surrounding your goat houses. This is essentially important because you would want to protect your goats against predators, maybe such as jackals or even stray dogs. Is something you have to put into consideration and plan around that. Let's move on to the next important thing, which is the feeding and nutrition component. So you have to understand the goat feeding as well as the nutrition component when you want to start this kind of business. You have to know, are you relying on the pastures or on commercial feeds or on both? But basically in Zimbabwe we have seasons whereby the pastures degrade in value as we go towards the summer times, and there is increased fiber in the grasses and pastures, and this also affects nutrient availability. Therefore it's important that you plan around supplementation or giving additional feed components to your goats so that they don't lose condition but they gain condition. And also when we talk of the goats in terms of diet, we have to understand that goats need a balanced diet for fast growth rate and also for high productivity. Their diet basically should contain the necessary nutrients for growth. You can also think of these diets or this feed in terms of the grazing or natural pastures, whereby this can be your main feed source. Then you can also think around the hay or silage for dry seasons or where there is feed shortages on the pastures. Then you also think around supplements. For instance, you can talk of products such as maize bran as well as cotton seed cake, sunflower meal, and also other mineral blocks supplements. Then water is also a very essential because you have to provide fresh and clean water at all times. Let's move to the other important aspect, which is very important in goat production. We want to talk about veterinary care and also some of the common diseases which are quite common in Zimbabwe. So you have to understand that when it comes to any livestock business, the health of the animals is your top priority. This is important. It also applies in goats because when you have a healthy goats, it means higher profits for you. It means also reduce the cost of purchasing medicines for disease treatment. It also reduce the cost of paying the veterinary experts, and also reduce the losses due to mortalities or death of your livestock. So it's important that you maintain the goats in their best health as much as possible. So when it comes to Zimbabwe, there are some of the most common diseases, and we would like to discuss about some of these common diseases. For instance, we can talk of the pulp kidney, which is also one of the major common diseases that affect goat production in Zimbabwe. Basically, what you have to do with this is that you have to adhere to the recommended vaccination schedules. Once you adhere to this, you are good to go, and you are also partly guaranteed of your success. Then you can also talk of pneumonia, which is mainly caused by poor housing conditions, for instance, wet conditions, and also sudden weather changes, especially on the young goats. So it's very important that you take care of the young goats and also you provide a standard housing which is dry and well aerated. Then we can also talk of the internal parasites as well as the external parasites. When it comes to internal parasites, we are talking of the worms which infest the inside gut of the goats, and these worms sometimes can absorb nutrients away and also result in the goats wasting away or losing condition. So one of the most common procedure to control this is your deworming procedure, whereby you have to adhere to deworming schedules from time to time based on recommended times. So it's something you have to plan around and think through. Then when we talk of external parasites, we are talking of ticks as well as other things such as lice which move and irritate the goats. So it's also very important that you practice dipping of your goats. Even you can use other dipping chemicals such as pour-ons and so forth. Another key important thing, or another key important condition which is also pretty common, is foot rot, which is caused especially during the wet season. So basically what you have to do as a goat farmer is that you have to maintain a proper hoof care by carrying out trimming activities from time to time, and also provide dry housing as much as possible. Now once you adhere to these health standards, you can at least reduce your cost of disease treatment, and also potentially increase your profits or revenue from these enterprises. Now let's move on to the profitability and also some of the business tips that you can put into practice and drive your way towards success and also towards your growth as a goat farmer. So to maximize profits in goat farming business, the key thing is you have to start small and expand. The idea is when you start small, you gain experience and you learn a lot, and you also learn the management aspects, especially when you're a new beginner, and you learn how to take care of the goats, and some of the processes you have to do, you learn around the feeding as well as other management practices. So essentially begin or start with a few goats and grow as you gain experience. This is very important. Then another key thing you have to put in consideration is record keeping. A majority of our farmers don't keep records. The reason why, I don't know, but it's important that you have your records in place. You have to track every expense. It's important because it gives you a rough idea or a rough estimation whether you are being profitable or not in this business. Then also put your records in place of growth rates to determine how far is your growth. Are you gaining something or you are not at all? It's important to track the progress from time to time. Record each and every thing, even schedules such as vaccination, they need to be recorded. And also record your sales, everything, so that you understand the business aspect around this goat farming. Another key thing is market timing. You have to target also during peak demand, such as festive seasons, whereby there is basically a high demand for meat, and goat is also one which can be in such a high demand. So also time for those seasons. But besides timing these seasons, it's also critically important that you produce and sell consistently at defined intervals. Maybe after every 3 months you are selling something, or maybe after every month you are selling something. This becomes very essential because it builds the positive cash flow to your business, so that you develop and also you grow at a fast pace. You have your market identified and also supply consistently to that market. Over time you can be very highly profitable. Another key thing is value addition. You can consider maybe selling processed meat, or even hides or goat skins, as well as some dairy products from goat's milk. So this is an area which is still very much in research, and also which is still low adoption rates. Some people are even doing sausages from. Is something I have encountered, and also is something you can think through, as long as you have the market that is willing to pay for these products. But the most important key thing is that you have to identify your market first, so that you understand the whole chain, and also improve on management and other things. So now you have to understand that goat farming can be a great investment, but the key thing is you must plan well. Put your feeds or your feeding plan into perspective, and think around that area, and also control your diseases, and also increase or improve on your marketing strategies. And also good marketing will make your business quite successful. Then in terms of conclusion, I would just like to say goat farming can be a profitable or a highly rewarding business if done on the correct procedures, or if done right. So the best thing, whether you are farming for meat or milk or for breeding, success comes from proper management and also smart marketing skills. Please subscribe to our channel for more farming tips, and also if you have any questions, you can also drop them in the comment section, so that I can reply as we go. Thank you.